Gentlemen, we have some breaking news at the top. In fact, Kyle and I just got off of HQ talking about this. Tiger Woods releases a statement that he underwent a fifth back surgery. It was I'm certainly no doctor, a pressurized disc that was causing a pinched nerve is the way that I understand it. And Mark, he's going to miss the Farmers Insurance Open. He's going to miss the Genesis Invitational, but he did not go any further than that. Obviously, we know there's a big tournament in April lurking, but your initial reaction to the Tiger Woods news today?
You know what, to be honest with you, Rick, I really was somewhat shocked, but then in the same breath, I was like not really surprised, because because apparently the nerve pain he was struggling was at the PNC, that father-son event, and he didn't look like he was moving that freely. But I thought, this is just Tiger Woods. Every week we talk about Tiger on this show and every other show. It's like, well, Tiger's scheduling is basically the main order of the day, and I was like, well, maybe he's just a little tender and tight, but having to go in there and have another surgery, he's fifth. That doesn't bode well. There's, as far as I believe, the more times you get your body cut on, the more you kind of essentially compromise. So, yeah, I would expect him to take the West Coast off, because those events are typically more damp and they're a little more cold and they're kind of more wintry. But then when you get to the Florida swing, if you get a cold day, it's kind of frigid in the morning, but then it's going to warm up. And so there'll be a lot more free swinging, not bundled up in clothing. So it's obviously smart. He's doing the right thing. He knows what he's doing, but it doesn't surprise me at all that we won't see him on the West Coast swing, given just the different conditions.
I've certainly learned over the years that I'm never going to doubt Tiger. What he did off of one back surgery was incredible, then two, then three, then four. Hopefully we say the same thing after five. KP, you and I were on HQ kind of doing a little bit of breaking news on this. And the one thing that stuck out to me is, of course, the statement that we get. Tiger expects to make a full recovery, which is great. That's awesome. But what is a full recovery? He's 45 years old. He's had 5 back surgeries. He opted to skip the Players Championship last year. I mean, what is a full recovery?
Yeah, I really like the way Mark said that. He said back surgery is shocking, but it's also not surprising. I think that's the right way to kind of frame it. I pulled up, man, I vividly remember I was at the PGA at Bethpage, and I was on the bus back to the hotel. I was sitting with Sean Martin, PGAtour.com, and he handed me this article that he was reading on the New York Times about Tiger, and in the article they were talking about back surgeries, and specifically the surgery, the spinal fusion that Tiger had in 2017, kind of the big daddy, the big one. And here's the quote from the article. It said, they interviewed this associate professor of medicine at Harvard, and he said, his name's Dr. Atlas. He said, Dr. Atlas said he tells patients that it's one thing for an athlete like Woods to have that operation, the spinal fusion. It may be risky, but he also might get a few more years out of his playing career, which could be worth millions of dollars for a green jacket. He didn't throw in the green jacket.
That part.
But he cautions typical middle-aged patients, once they have that fusion, it can't be undone. And it is likely that they will have future surgery down the road as a consequence of the instability fusion causes. If your goal is cure, that isn't what this is going to offer. And I've thought about that article a lot over the last couple of years. And I think that I don't know what, I don't know. To answer your question, I don't know what like success in the future is for Tiger. He wasn't that good last year in 2020, and he was seemingly as healthy as he is, at least for the last part of the year. So, while I think this surgery is minor compared to the spinal fusion in 2017, it just where does the deterioration end? How many more surgeries are there? I don't know. I don't have a lot of optimism right now for where Tiger's at.
I think that's an interesting point, KP. The end of 2020 for him. And Coach, I want to bring you in on this because, there was an appearance of health for Tiger at probably the last 6 months of 2020. We were worried about the cold, frigid mornings at TPC Harding Park, and he makes it out of there unscathed, doesn't mention his back or any other body part throughout the entire week. And seemingly he was fairly healthy. And to Kyle's point, the performance on the course wasn't all that great. Now we add in another back surgery, and it's just, you try to look forward for Tiger, and what do you see?
Two words came to my mind when I saw this story today, and it was makes sense. I was very critical, as many of us were, in 2020 with the lack of play from Tiger, especially coming out of the pandemic, because it would have just made sense that we had almost 3 months off. Why wouldn't he come back and play? But now that he has set the schedule the way that he did, and I don't think even Tiger, if you're going to put a lie detector on him, if you said, Tiger, the way you laid out your schedule, do you truly believe that you will be successful in these big tournaments that you're not preparing for? I think even Tiger would tell you no, but I think that going back to the summer, this had to be bothering him. I had a lot of back issues back when I was in college and I played basketball, and it would come and go, and I didn't even have the serious injuries that he has had. So I refuse to believe that this started in December. I refuse to believe that he wasn't having these issues back in the summer, which is why he didn't play anything but the really big events that if he would have skipped, it really would have been a red flag. So for me, this makes sense, and I'm with Kyle. I love Tiger more than anything. This does not bode well because all we care about is Tiger going to win or is Tiger going to lose? We don't care about fifth place finishes anymore. And that is where I'm at with it.